Hi my dear student, welcome to my channel Neet Biology Diagram Based Technical Terms Part 10. Today discussing the topic about ecosystem. Important terms: arboriculture, cultivation and management of individual specimens of ornamental trees. Next one, agroecosystem, anthropogenic or man-made ecosystem, basically agricultural fields. Next one, biogeochemicals, otherwise called biogenetic nutrients, the elements provided by the earth to the living organisms. Another one, biogeochemical cycle, movement or circulation of biogenetic nutrients through the living and non-living components of the biosphere or any ecosystem. Another one, biotic community, a group of different population inhabiting in a common environment and interacting with one another. Next one, biotic succession, the change in biotic communities in an orderly sequence in an area resulting in establishment of stable or climax community. Another one, canopy, the part of woodland or forest community that is formed by the trees. Coldest place, Antarctic with the air temperature of minus 88 degrees Celsius. Second coldest in Dar in India with the temperature of minus 72 degrees Celsius. Next one, detritivores, deleterious feeding invertebrates which break down detritus into small species. Detritivores, example earthworm, break down detritus into small particles. This process is called fragmentation. By the process of leaching, water soluble inorganic nutrients go down into the soil horizon and get precipitated as unavailable salt. Bacterial and fungal enzymes degrade detritus into simpler inorganic substance. This process is called catabolism. Next one, detritus, dead plant pods and animal remains. You may have heard of the earthworm bearing referred to as the farmer's friend. This is so because they help in the breakdown of complex organic matter as well as loosening of the soil. Similarly, the decomposers break down complex organic matter into inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water and nutrients, and the process is called decomposition. Dead plant remains such as leaves, bark, flowers and dead remains of animal including facial matter constitute is called detritus. Ecological efficiencies, the ratio between the energy assimilated over the energy available between two trophic levels. Another one, ecosystem, a segment of nature consisting of communities of living beings and physical environment which interact and exchange material between them. An ecosystem can be visualized as a functional unit of nature where living organisms interact among themselves and also with the surrounding physical environment. Ecosystem varies greatly in size from a small pond to a large forest or a sea. Many ecologists regard the entire biosphere as a global ecosystem, as a composite of all local ecosystems on Earth. Since this system is too much big and complex to be studied at one time, it is convenient to divide into two basic categories, namely the terrestrial and the aquatic. Food chain, the transfer of energy from one trophic level to the next trophic level through a series of organisms with repeated eating and being eaten. All animals depend upon plants directly or indirectly for their food need. They are hence called consumer and also heterotroph. If they feed on the producer, the plant, or they are called primary consumer. And if the animals eat other animal, which in turn eat the plants, they are called secondary consumers. Likewise, you would have tertiary consumer too. Obviously, the primary consumer will be herbivores. Some common herbivores are insect, bird, and mammals in terrestrial ecosystem, and mollusca is the aquatic ecosystem. Next one, food web, a network of food chain which is interconnected at various trophic level so as to form a number of feeding connection amongst different organisms of an ecosystem. In an aquatic ecosystem, grazing food chain is the major conduct for energy flow, as against is the terrestrial ecosystem, as a much larger fraction of energy flows through the detritus food chain than through the grazing food chain. Detritus food chain may be connected with the grazing food chain at some level. Some of the organisms detritus food chain are prey to the grazing food chain animal. And in a natural ecosystem, some animal like cockroach, grouse, etc. are omnivores. These natural interconnection of food chain make it to form a food web. Next one, gross primary productivity, that is called GPP. The rate at which energy captured of organic matter synthesized by the producer per unit area per unit time. Gross primary productivity of an ecosystem is the rate of production of organic matter during photosynthesis. A considerable amount of gross primary production is utilized by plant in respiration. Gross primary productivity minus respiration losses R is the net primary productivity, that is called NPP. So the GPP minus R equal to NPP. Another one, height torque, succession occurring in water body. Succession occurring in water body. So the kite rock succession take place in the wetter area, and the succession series progressive from chytric to the messy condition. Another one, macrophytes, rooted plants found in shallow water. Another one, net primary productivity, the rate at which energy of organic matter stored by producer in their bodies per unit area, unit time. Cross primary productivity minus respiration losses R is the net primary productivity, that is called NPP. GPP minus R equal to NPP. Net primary productivity is the available biomass for the consumption of heterotrophs, that is called herbivore and decomposers. Secondary productivity is defined as the rate of formation new organic matter by consumers. Next one, nutrient immobilization. Incorporation of soil nutrients in living microbes, making them temporarily unavailable to other organisms. Another one, phagotrophs, heterotrophic organism, mostly animal, which generally ingest and swallow their food. Another one, photosynthetically active radiation, that is called BAR, PAR, refers to the visible light or effective radiation for photosynthetic activity of the producers. Except for the deep sea hydrothermal ecosystem, sun is the only source of energy for all ecosystem on earth. Of the incident solar radiation, less than 50% of its photosynthetically active radiation. We know that the plants are photosynthetic and chemosynthetic bacteria that are called autotroph, fixes sun radiant energy to make food from simple or inorganic material. Plant capture only 2 to 10% of the bar, and this small amount of energy sustain the entire living world. So it is very important to know how the solar energy captured by the plant flow through different organisms of an ecosystem. Next one, Bioneer organisms. The organism which inhabitate a bare substratum and lay the foundation for the succession of biotic community. So the species that invade a bare area are called Bioneer species. In primary succession on rock, these are usually lichen which are able to secrete acid to dissolve rock. helping in weathering and soil formation. These later pave way to some very small plant like bryophytes, which are able to make hold in the small amount of soil. They are with time succeeded by bigger plant, and after several more stages, ultimately a stable climax forest community is formed. Primary succession, ecological succession on a surface where original community has been destroyed. Succession is can say a process that starts where no living organism are there. This could be areas where no living organism ever existed, say bare rock, or in areas that somehow lost all the living organism that existed there. The former is called primary succession, while the latter is termed as secondary succession. Next one, production ecology. Production ecology refers to the study of biomass production by the organisms. Next one, productivity. The rate of biomass or organic matter production by the organisms. Another one, sod forms, the grasses which form a solid mat of grass cover. Another one, secondary productivity, the rate of increase in the biomass of heterotrophs per unit area per unit time. Another one, standing crop, the amount of the living material present in different trophic levels at a given time. Each trophic level has a certain mass of living material at a particular time is called standing crop. The standing crop is measured as the mass of living organism, that is called biomass, or the number in a unit area. The biomass of a species is expressed in the terms of fresh or dry weight. Another one, stratification, formation of different layers or strata of different species in a community. Interaction of biotic and abiotic components result in a physical structure that is characteristic for each type of ecosystem. Identification and enumeration of plant and animal species of an ecosystem give its species composition. Vertical distribution of different species occupying different level is called stratification. For example, trees occupy top vertical strata or layer of forest, shrub and second and herb and grasses and occupy the bottom layer. Next one, transducers. Photosynthetic Autotroph, which convert solar energy into chemical bond energy of organic compounds. Next one, Vinogradsky in the year 1891 discovered nitrogen fixation.